Here we are looking at this garden spot. This is about a week after I disc it for the first time. You can see there's still a good bit of grass out here that's alive. Probably won't get it all killed without using the glyphosate, but I'm going to try to work it the best I can. We've had a little bit of rain this week, so it's a little wet. Just so you can kind of see, there's a good bit of grass still in here, especially kind of around the western side here and out in the middle too. So I'm just kind of walking through it here. There's definitely still some grass. So far, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. I did come down about a week ago and also put a little lime on here. Probably needs more, but this may be all it gets this year with prices as high as they are. So I'm going to try something I've never tried before. So here's the cultivator. Like I said, it's a 2-row. It's got 11 sweeps on it. It's set up to have 1 row of plants here and 1 row of plants here. And these are pretty easily reconfigured. A couple bolts and you can move them to pretty much whatever setup you want. But I'm pretty excited to use this. This will be my first year using it, and I think it's going to save me a ton of time in my garden. Wrong way. I've said in another video that about 10 months ago, this was all grown up in brush. And I came through and used a excavator, a Mini X, to grub the trees up. And it left a lot of roots in the ground. Essentially, I'm just chisel plowing. So it was doing a really good job of flipping these roots up and that kind of thing. So I've just been going over this over and over and over. Look here, here's a piece of old hay ring. Like I said, this used to be where we did a lot of our hay feeding when we had cattle here. So every now and then I find a few things and I try to bring it over here and put it on my little metal pile. So I'm gonna do that. But here's just, let me get my shadow out of the image, but a good clump of roots and dirt mixed together. But see some of the roots and root pieces. One of the tines broke off my cultivator. It had been welded before by a previous owner, and that weld just did not hold up. So I'm gonna have to get a new tine for that. But like I said, it's hitting a lot of roots, so I'm not surprised that that tine didn't hold up. But you can see, I mean, just roots and root balls and root pieces, and a lot of them I've been able to kind of drag out of the garden spot, but some of them it's just kind of flipped over to the side of where the cultivator ran. Here's a pretty good sized chunk. Let's see if it's all the way loose. If I can pull it up. Yep. See, there's definitely some dirt on the root, but as wet as the soil is, that's just how it's going to be. Another smaller clump, but still in the way. I think, obviously I want to get the roots out that I can get out, but I think once the roots are at least loose in here, I'll be able to run the cultivator and cultivate the garden itself without, so much trouble and that kind of thing. But obviously this cultivator, it's going to be easier to use on a spot that's perfectly square or rectangle. This is kind of almost a triangle shape, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to lay these other rows out. Probably hook back up to the disc and run the disc over this. Since it's cut a lot deeper, I think some of the thinner spots have gotten a lot deeper now, so the disc should do a really good job running over this stuff. You can tell these roots just really wad up around these sweeps and tines and that kind of thing. I just wanted to show a quick picture of that. I am really happy with how this is turning out. Like I said before, there were roots all in this. So this worked up way better after I ran that cultivator through it and then disc it again. There's still some pretty good sized root pieces. Most of them are loose now, but I'm gonna walk through and throw some of these big ones out as we look at this. But man, even everywhere I step, my foot's sinking in. So this is gonna be a great garden this year, I think. And I'm gonna keep posting updates as I continue getting it ready, and even through the growing season this year, and we'll see how everything turns out. And it's probably about 2/10 of an acre in size. I'm hoping next year to expand it to where it's close to 1/4 of an acre. We'll see how that goes. I've got to get this brush pile over here burned, and I'll have to, cultivate the area over there. And over there is not as many roots. That section closest to the driveway was not as grown up as this little section was, but still gonna have to work it and get it ready for next year. That's a pretty good size one right there. Look how big this root piece here is. Let me put my foot up next to it. I'm really surprised that cultivator pulled this piece out. It did a good job. We've had a lot of rain, so she's flowing real good. So I've mentioned several times that 10 months ago, my garden spot was grown up in brush. And here's another spot on the property. I just wanted to show what you can go from in less than a year. So this is the kind of brush I'm talking about. It was just a thicket of small saplings and blackberries and who knows what else. You can go from totally wasted, unusable space to a garden producing food for your family, especially in times like this where food security may be a little uncertain. So I'm looking forward to having some certainty with my food this year. I don't have to worry so much about astronomical food prices and all of the mess that comes along with that.